Hey guys, welcome to one of my favorite calls. We are doing a Build and Belief call. The reason I love these calls so much is because we just share our hearts. We just share what's worked for us. Hopefully, whenever you hear my sweet friends share their stories, you're going to be able to hear yourself in one of their stories. Something's going to resonate with you, that'll encourage you, help you along your journey if you've already started with us, and if not, help you to decide to join us. So we are so excited to have some of my really sweet friends. My first sweet friend is Tara. She is also a nurse. I'm Lisa, by the way. My friend Tara is also an RN, and she is also a mom of three sweet kiddos. I'm going to let Tara share a story, but one of her main victories that she had with Plexus is amazing weight loss and help with her MS. So Tara, tell us about your story.
Good evening. I always feel so honored when I am asked to do these kind of calls because I never tire of sharing how Plexus has, excuse me, blessed me personally, and I hope that through this, somebody else will be blessed as well. So, as she said, I am a RN, worked in the ER here in Tuscaloosa for 10 years and had my third child in 2013 and quit and stay at home full time now. I do sub every now and then at the elementary school that my two youngest kids go to. I started with Plexus. Gosh, I can't believe that I'm saying this, but it was 5 years the end of September. Um, I a little backstory about my health history. When I was 17, a senior in high school, I was diagnosed with MS, which is an autoimmune disease that attacks the myelin, which is the coating around the nerves in your brain. So it was a devastating diagnosis for me as a 17-year-old senior in high school. But found a fabulous doctor right here an hour away from me in Birmingham, and have done fairly well to have been, gosh, I mean, that was 21 years ago that I was diagnosed, which is insane. Um, Life went along and I was on treatment and went to college, got married, have had three children. With each child, the weight stayed. um, the exhaustion came. And with that exhaustion, I was starting to notice some MS type symptoms. They really would not call it an exacerbation because it never really lasted for longer than 48 hours. So, Julia, sweet Julia, she got a hold of me one weekend and she shoved this little packet of stuff down my throat. And I guess you could say I have not looked back. It was not without a lot of, you are crazy. I'm not doing this. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a nurse. I don't need supplements. I have a great medicine. I don't know what you're talking about. She said, please just give it a try. 60-day money back guarantee. So after talking to my husband, I gave it a try. And it completed my life. I'm glad she shoved that pink powder down my throat. But immediately, really within the first few weeks, I noticed that my energy was better. I'll tell you, I sat on the sidelines and I watched my kids play. That mommy, come play with me. Mommy, come play with me. No, mommy's going to sit right here, or I'm going to take a nap on the couch. I didn't survive the day without a giant iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts or a drive-through McDonald's Coke. Lots of caffeine, lots of naps, and I was tired all the time. I immediately noticed the energy. Fast forward to now, I've lost close to 80 pounds. Now, did it fall off? No, I'm 5 years in, but I'll tell you that I'm comfortable with it staying off. And that's something that is very hard to find. Lots of these quick fix things, you lose the weight and it comes back. You lose the weight and it comes back. But I'm comfortable saying that I know for a fact that it's not going to come back. In nursing school, Lisa, I don't know if they taught you about gut health and how that was connected to your brain, and inflammation could cause problems. They didn't teach me that. But I have learned that my gut being healthy keeps my brain healthy and keeps autoimmune issues at bay. And I believe that having a healthy gut and wanting to be active every single day has truly helped me to say that I've gone 5.5 years without any kind of issue with my MS. So I think that's it.
I love that. And you know what's amazing though, Tara, too, is that I was taking some notes while you're talking, but 80 pounds, 80 plus pounds, that's crazy. And what's interesting is that you said that it's taken you 5 years, but what's interesting is that so many people think that if they can't lose the weight immediately, that what's the point? They don't want to do it. But the thing is that these 5 years still went by anyway.
Right.
So you're 80 pounds, which is huge. I mean, no pun intended, but that is a life-changing amount of weight that is now, it's, first of all, it's helping your symptoms with MS, I'm sure, your joints, your cardiovascular system, your blood pressure, which is cardiovascular system, your sleep, your energy. I mean, so many things. But see, this time would have passed anyway. So to be consistent is hard. And to wait for motivation, I'm sure you did not have that motivation, but you were determined that you were going to do this. Every day you're getting closer. Whenever I see post-op patients, after they have their surgery, we'll bring them in 2 weeks, and I'll say, 2 weeks in, depending on what surgery they have, they're not going to feel their best in 2 weeks. But what I say is, are you feeling better every day? Or are you going backwards? Are you feeling better every day? Are you a little closer to being perfectly, back to 100% healed than you were 2 weeks ago? Of course. So a lot of it's about perspective too. So thank you for sharing that. That was awesome. I love hearing Tara's story, y'all, because thankfully most of us do not have to suffer with MS. So to hear her story and how life-changing it is just a treat that she would share that with us, because we don't get to hear that a lot, that testimony. So that is life-changing. So
I just want to shout it from the rooftops. I every time I go to the Kirkland Clinic in Birmingham, and I go every 6 months, and Scott always goes with me. That's my husband. And I just realized how blessed I am to feel the way I do, 21 years into this diagnosis, and to know that a lot of people 21 years into this diagnosis aren't feeling the way I feel. It's been proven that daily activity is good for MS patients. It's been proven that probiotics are so important for autoimmune issues. So, yes, the weight loss. Yes, the weight loss. Praise Jesus. But I want to be able to watch these children who are looking at me on this balcony up here of my house. Shh. I want to watch them grow up, and I want to always be able to be outside and play with them, and not in a wheelchair or pushing a walker. I just strive daily to, they're there, my kids are here, and I want to watch them grow up and be active with them. So.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't think that would be a reality for someone so young as you, and to be diagnosed with MS, to say, oh, she'll never end up in a wheelchair. People do, and that's their reality. So that's a big deal. It really is. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Love it. Okay, so the next sweet friend that we have is my friend Megan. Megan is a sweet former teacher, which raised the roof for the teachers. They do not get paid enough. Can we just say they don't get paid enough? Whew. So she is a sweet teacher that used to actually teach with our friend Lindsay. And actually she used to teach at a school that my son went to. And he just loved Miss Megan. So Megan, former teacher, she has 3 little boys. And actually, if you live in the Montgomery area, you could see her on TV because Baptist East Hospital, actually the Baptist System Hospital system, they have her on a commercial about her little twins who were preemies. So that's fun to have a little superstar in our midst. So Megan, tell us about your journey.
Okay, thanks, Lisa, for that shout out. Okay, Tara, you know how wonderful you are. That was so beautiful. I love always just getting to hear from you. It's always a pleasure. Okay, so I wish I had some, groundbreaking experience like my sweet Tara did, but it has given me a lot of life back, so I get to share about that. I think that for me, gut health has always been an issue, but I didn't know it. So I had a lot of GI issues, IBS all the way growing up, had to really watch what I ate, was hospitalized as a child. I just kind of thought that's just the way life was. But I never started Plexus for, for gut health, which is the strangest thing. And I really, truly didn't think I had this many issues until I started Plexus and everything started fixing itself, healing from the inside out. But yes, I do have these 3 boys, and we have gone through a lot to have them. And it was after my 3rd that Lindsay just really was like, Meg, please try this pink drink. Because even when we taught together, I was teaching kindergarten with her. I was so tired. And it was that 1 o'clock to 5 p.m. that was painful. And, when you have kindergartners, I really didn't have a time that I could be out of it. And so I just really had to function. I loved a Coke and a Snickers. That was like eating my emotions and feeding me through the day. But so she finally got me to do it. And really, honestly, y'all, that pink drink, I noticed right off the bat how much better I felt. And it gave me a whole lot of life back to be able to have those hours in the day back to just feel good and then want to go home and cook or just, smile at somebody, because it's tough when you're that tired and you're having those blood sugar crashes. So it was really like an onion and just peeling back the layers. It was not a lightning bolt that one day I woke up and was like, I have no stomach issues. I can eat all the chili French fries I want. It just was over time. And I thought, oh my soul, I have not had to go to the restroom. I haven't been dealing with any of the GI and the IBS. And I'm feeling I've got my afternoons back. And to really change on a daily basis to me is really everything. But going back a little bit, we had tons of fertility getting started with having children. It was about a 3-year journey, and it was lots of medications and lots of shots and lots of invasive procedures and things. And with that, you found out a lot about yourself. And one of the things was MTHFR. And I know people talk about that a lot more now, but I mean, I think it's something like 40%, you may know that, Lisa, of the population actually have it, but we're just not really educated on it. But you really need a methylated vitamin to fill in those gaps and feed your cells. Well, I remember Lindsay posting something about Plexus having this methylated vitamin, and I thought, I need that, because I had gone to the store and I had tried to piece this together and that together, and I was just overwhelmed with everything that I needed. So what I was finding was, okay, I can actually make it through the day because my blood sugar is balanced. I'm not having my stomach issues anymore. And now I'm able to give my body what it needs for this MTHFR, because one of the side effects can be miscarriages. And that's something that we had gone through. And we had finally gotten our precious boys, which I'm just so thankful for. They're such restoration for me. But then the one thing that really knocked my socks off that I never saw coming was I realized that my cycle had come back and that it was normalized. So when you're talking to somebody who's gone through 3 years of infertility and feeling awful, and I mean, just all of it, it was awful. And I just chose something that I thought was going to give me energy, and it gave me my life. You know, you just, you do, like Tara said, I wanted to shout it from the rooftops. I couldn't believe it. I would go and dot on the calendar just to make sure, did it really come back on time? And each month I would go by. So, anyways, I am so thankful, you know, and my sweet Wells, my third one, you know, he just, we laugh about it because I had been on a sample pack and then I got pregnant with him without in vitro. So we just kind of wonder if he's our secret plexus baby. But anyways, that's just my story. And thank y'all so much for even listening to me. I'm so thankful for this and for all of y'all. And I know that Tara is too, sweet thing. But yeah, so there it is. I'm gonna pass it off to you, Lisa.
Well, thank you. I love that. I love all these stories, but I love that, you know, who knows if your sweet Wells is a plexus baby or not? Who knows? I would like to think that it is. But it's interesting how you're talking about like your cycles are never regular. And if there's any guys on here, sorry, or watching the replay, guys, sorry, but yeah, hormones, you just got to talk about them sometimes. But when your cycles are regular, it's an indication of something, you know, that's going on. And so the fact that we give hormones, you know, birth control pills are hormones. We're giving synthetic hormones to tell your body to do something. We're giving your body orders. So these hormones are making your cycles do certain things. So the fact that people aren't putting that together, you know, that insulin and sugar balance, I mean, that is affecting your insulin, which is the huge hormone hallmark of so many things. If you don't have your insulin stabilized, your sugar's not stabilized, but if your insulin's not stabilized, that just affects so many things. So I'm so glad that you feel better. I'm so glad that you're a superstar, rock star, movie star on TV. I was watching it the other night. It was so funny. And you pop up and your twins are there and you're sitting in the room and talking about how much you're so thankful, you know, how much Babs has helped you and your boys. And I was like, I know her. So that was fun.
One time.
Do what?
I've only seen it one time.
I've seen it a couple. I feel like I've seen it. I know I've seen your billboard right there off the interstate at Taylor Road. But that's fun to see you on the commercial. I'll get your autograph later. We'll talk later.
Yeah, girl. I even give you a hug.
That's right. I would love that too. So talking about insulin, the last but not least guest speaker for tonight is Sweet Erin. And she is a mama. She works for magazine. My husband works for a magazine too, so I know that that's not an easy job. But one of the things is, you know, with Tara having MS, and that's not a common medical issue. You know, Megan had infertility. That is a little bit more common issue, but Erin has an issue that's not as common as people think. You know, diabetes is a very common issue that people have. Type 2 diabetes, very common. Type 1 diabetes, not as common, especially insulin pumps. So talking about insulin, how important it is and how it affects all of your body systems, and so many things are controlled by insulin. Erin has a story about that.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. And my story feels like so small compared to like everyone else's because they're amazing. But if you don't know me, my name is Erin Truitt, and I have notes. I'm a note taker. So even though it's my testimony, I still have notes. But so one thing you need to know about me is that I'm the biggest skeptic. Like, I didn't think that there was really anything out there that I didn't, not that I knew it all, but it's like I researched everything. And I had to. I was diagnosed at the age of 9 with type 1 diabetes. We have no clue where it came from. So that kind of set in motion that I always had to keep my health on the forefront, because what I put in today determines if I get health-wise, you know, another 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, and that sounds morbid, but it's true. So every action does have a consequence, especially for someone with type 1 diabetes. that is manageable if you take care of it. So I was the biggest skeptic. I was like, okay, this is not something, when I was first introduced to Plexus, that's going to be a game changer. How can something so simple like supplements be the key to this? And if we rewind a little bit, I struggled with energy. Oh my gosh, I struggled with energy, y'all. Like when I say that I woke up tired, I went to bed tired. Oh, and I took a 3-hour nap every day when my 1-year-old, who God bless her soul, she was a great sleeper. So when I put her down, I had the blanket on the couch and I would go crawl on the couch and I'd fall asleep. And my husband would walk in the door and he's like, hey, Cannon's up. I don't know how long she's been up. I was dead to the world. I was exhausted. And, when you have kids, I mean, that's debilitating to not have like any energy. You kind of feel like you're failing them. And we were in the talks of like, do we want to extend our family? Do we want another baby? And that thought in the back of my head, I never verbalized it, but I remember thinking, how in the world am I going to keep up with another child if I can't have the energy to play with my firstborn, right? So my sweet friend Tara, who's on this call, I love her, Tara Odell, she did a post one day about fatigue, being chronically fatigued, and how insulin plays into it, your blood sugar regulation. Now, being a diabetic, I understood that, and but I really had a tight control over my diabetes, and they judge it by what they call your A1C, and that's just an average of your overall blood sugars for the past 3 months, okay? And or at least I get it done every 3 months. But and you really kind of want to be below a 6, ideally. And so I always hovered around like a 6.2, 6.3, which isn't horrible whenever I have to completely manage everything. But Tara posted about this, and I finally had reached my breaking point, and I was like, all right, I'm going to give it a try, because I've tried everything. Like I did isogenics, I did other weight loss systems, because I thought with weight loss, if I could just lose 5 pounds, I'd feel better, right? So I got on the triplex and then the X Factor, and no lie, within a week, I stopped taking naps. I stopped going through Starbucks twice a day, ordering just the venti coffees. Like, I mean, our bill each month was really high. My husband didn't know it because I do the reconciliations. But it was just like, and to see that, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then the mental clarity came, that brain fog was lifted. And the skeptic in me really turned, and I was like, everybody needs these products because it's all connected. And so it's just, what I thought was my problem was weight. It really ended up being so much more than that. And my body was holding on to the weight because there was so much inflammation going on. And if you have an autoimmune disease, you have a lot of inflammation. It's just the nature of the beast. But that being said, we ended up getting pregnant with my second daughter a month after I had started Plexus. So she's truly a Plexus baby. She was my healthiest pregnancy. I gained the appropriate amount of weight, and my A1C got down to 5.6. Y'all, that's huge for a diabetic mother. That is basically as close to normal as you can get. So for someone who is calculating everything every day, everything you eat, what you put in your body, and me doing the manual calculations, that's a huge deal. And so I started that journey about 3 years ago. And since then, through my entire journey, I've lost 14 pounds. If you've ever been on my Facebook, I've lost a ton of inflammation. I don't know how many inches, but a lot of inches, 2 pant sizes. And I know that all has to do with just balancing the body and getting it back on track. And I feel like I'm looking every which way. Sorry, guys. I never know where to look. But it's just such a big deal. And I always thought that everything was tied to weight, and weight is just a side effect of once you get your body aligned. that's why weight starts to fall off, because your body's like, I have nothing to scream at you about. Like, so now I can drop this weight and not hold on to it. And it makes a huge difference. So I have energy now to play with my girls. I love, like, I get so much work done while they're asleep. If they sleep, they take a nap. But it's just the things that these tools have given me, these products have given me, are completely life-changing. And that's why I share about them so freely and with confidence, because I know they work. There's clinical science behind it. We have a medical advisory team. So, I mean, like, we have it all in place. And I mean, it's simply amazing. So thank you for letting me share. I feel like I'm rambling and I'm looking at the time.
Don't you worry about that. You're doing awesome. I was taking some notes with you too, because I'm a nurse note taker.
Love it.
But, I think that's interesting that you were kind of given into the lie as well as so many others that just, for so long you just said, well, and y'all, type 1 diabetics and type 2 diabetics, very different. Mm-hmm. And some people think, well, if I can't come off my insulin, or can't come off my glucophage or my metformin or whatever it is that, you're taking for type 2, you think, well, if I can't come off of it completely, then it's a fraud. It's not working. Erin is a perfect example. And Tara, I bet you still take some meds for your MS, probably a lot less, down to 1. Probably you had a ton. Didn't I read a testimony saying you had a ton? So the point is that don't look at it as all or nothing, because if Tara and if Erin, Megan, you didn't mention any meds, so I'm not going to bring you into this, but if they didn't find Plexus and find natural ways to address their health issues, they would still be on the mega doses of these prescription meds, which, you guys, I'm a Western medicine nurse. I'm so thankful for Western medicine. But if you know me for 5 seconds, you know that I will say I love Western medicine, but I know, being a nurse 20 years, that we overprescribe so many things. We do not get to the root of the issue. Just like Tara said, we weren't taught in nursing school about gut health and about sugar balance and about inflammation, about systemic inflammation and the damage that it does over time. So I'm so thankful that, y'all are able to share your stories, because so many people think, well, it's just all or nothing. If I can't get off all my meds, then I'm not going to do it. Y'all, even people that take Plexus, I still take extra vitamin D. I take vitamin D drops because the supplements, I just want a little bit more during cold and flu season. Does that mean that Plexus doesn't work? No, it just means that you may need extra in a different area. The fact that Erin will never be able to come off her insulin pump. She just won't. That's just the way type 1 diabetics are. Their pancreas just doesn't give them what they need to sustain life. Okay, so she has to have a little bit. I don't know what she's on, but she has to have a little bit every day. But the fact that she's able to take these products, insulin that she was taking was not giving her energy. It was not helping her be a better mama. It was not giving her the tools that she needed. So Plexus comes along. Plexus doesn't have a facial wash yet. Maybe they're coming out with one. So I use something else until Plexus comes out with it. They don't have a body wash do you know what I mean? So you have to supplement other things. Some people think that they can't replace all their supplements and all their, collagen and protein. Before we came out with collagen, people were taking lean, which is our protein shake, and a different collagen. So you have to use the tools that you need to supplement what you're doing to get you to your goals faster. Everybody has different health issues, but if what you're doing Western medicine wise or on your own isn't getting you to the place that you need to be, the place that you deserve to be, the place that your family and your future family deserves you to be, then I would take a look at these products and at this company and at this sisterhood and brotherhood. It's really more than just products. It really is. But for this call, we are going to just talk about products. So I'm so excited that you guys came and y'all came to hang out, and thanks for sharing your heart, you guys. If you have any questions about what we talked about, please get with the person that shared this video with you. And I know they'll be happy to talk to you more about it. So y'all have a great night, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.